Welcome everybody. So I'd like to share a little more about the Young India program that we are conducting for the 8th to 12th class, and also a collaborative, an extended batch of the undergraduate program for like degree first year, second year, engineering first year or second year. Now, the Young India program, practically, sure, we are trying to be academic here because you need to write your examinations and whatever you want to do in your life goes through an academic process, unless and until you want to do something like a sports or whatever other non-academic thing. Now, something that I want to emphasize is that, keeping in mind that Young India program is not going to be something that's going to dictate you who you want to become, what you want to become. Now, I remember as a child, although I was surrounded by the singular profession that my parents were in, I was never only told that this is your world, this is your path, I have written for you, go and this is what you're going to do. Unfortunately, the kind of education system we are in, or the society, or the pressure, or the whatever understanding of knowledge is in our country, we do understand that we have in engineering, if you're a science student, go to the engineering, the medicine, or whatever else is available. These are the mainstream jobs that are going to fetch you high money. And whatever else, if you like the humanities, if you like commerce, get yourself a chartered accountancy degree or whatever it is, and you're going to have a certain kind of a life. But I'd like to tell that there is so much more in this world for you to choose to become professionally. And when I say choose to become, it's not just about, okay, I want to grow up and become a social entrepreneur. That is not all of it. I think it also is figuring out who you are. I think there is a reason why at 18 you're allowed to drive, because one imagines that whether it's the government or whether it's sort of socially, anthropologically, or society thinks that you're old enough to know which direction to go. So that's why you have the driving license given to you by the time you're 18. So I think by the time we are 18, and one never should stick anything in their life to timeline and believe that this is the time and age everything should go, but I think what is important is one realizes who they want to become. Like, what are your principles? What are your value system? Do you really like to do something? What are your passion areas? I think it's so unfortunate that most of us don't even know what excites us. I think what makes us want to jump out of the bed and be like, yes, today I'm going to work. I want each and every student to feel that excitement, or whatever they choose to do. Even if they want to do something like playing chess, I want you to be excited for it. I want you to have that mad passion, the kind of passion and the kind of sort of the excitement that I have while I teach. And when I see the excitement of a student when he's like, yup, I got you, I understood what you're saying. I want that magic. And that is so beautiful when you can realize what you want to do. So what we're doing with your Young India program is that, definitely, I genuinely strongly believe in academic preparation, because I feel like there's so much that, yes, books teach you a lot, only if you can apply them. So what we're doing is that the Young India program is a very unique program where A, we're also teaching you so much, B, we're also teaching you how to apply it. Now, if I am teaching you that, okay, so and so, suppose there is this facility called as an overdraft facility which you have in bank, and then if you have a current account, you have an overdraft facility. Or if I am teaching you that, suppose this so and so is the credit limit of a credit card in the UPI, which is the Google Pay and all of these things. If I am teaching you all of these stuff, I also want you to understand it realistically. Like, if I am today telling you about Google Pay, tomorrow I want you to be able to tell me more about what is wrong with what is wrong with Google Pay and what is good about it. Now, that extra part I want to tell you. Something about great teachers is that, the fact about great teachers is that they will actually never teach you anything. If they teach you everything, then they're not great teachers. A great teacher is somebody who will make you want to learn by yourself. And when there is something that you learn by yourself, it's a great feeling and you will never forget in your entire life. So Young India program, I think we've tried to create a platform where A, we are teaching you, but at the same time, I also want to see that the student himself is also coming to me and being like, you know what, this also can be done, this also can be done. I think, when we are talking about anything from foreign policy to uh, suppose like something like marriage, I want you to have opinions about everything, understanding what is right and wrong. The last year when we conducted the same program, I remember a student asking me about why do we even have to like read all of this and everything starting. When I asked her to read the newspaper and tell me what is the sort of the highlights of the news or whatever, this particular student asked me, why should I read? And I tried to explain her, I tried to calm her down, and she was like, yeah, sure, whatever, and she's gone. And then 6 months later, she came up to me and she's like, I think I've understood why you asked me to read the newspaper. And I was like, why? Why do you think I asked you to read the newspaper? She told me something which made my heart smile. She told me, when I read in the news about, the communal violence that was happening in the country, my heart did not go, who is right, who is wrong. My heart went, who was bleeding, because when you read something and you're taught in the right way, when you're given the right attitude, you become a better person. Now, as much as one like to emphasize academic excellence, which is very important because that's what is going to take you ahead in life, one also wants to teach about stuff like being a good human, kindness. And I think something that UPSC preparation actually does to you, because I'll give you a small example. Any issue, talk about any issue. Talk about communal violence in the country. For suppose, if you go to the interviewer, in your personal interview stage in the UPSC examination or the mains examination, if you are writing that all of these people who are promoting communalism should be killed and should be like thrown to jail, or if you write the other extreme, communal violence is fine, it's okay, it's okay. And basically what I'm trying to say is that even if you're trying to be like a overtly pious human being or an overtly revolutionary human being, that means you're trying to be any of these extreme, the UPSC is going to reject you. He needs somebody who's a balanced mind. Something that every UPSC aspirant is taught while writing the mains examination is that no matter if the question asks you or not, you need to write the pros and cons of everything. No matter if the interviewer believes you think it in a positive way or negative way, you should still be able to say that, yep, ration card for the entire country, okay, these are the advantages of it, these are the disadvantages of it, and this should be the way forward. So all I'm trying to say is that this entire ideology about what is good, what is bad is, and I think your ability to see both sides of the coin, your ability to see multiple stories gives you that empowerment where you're not a fool to follow the herd. You have your own ideology, you have your own mindset, and you are aware of, okay, this is who I want to become. I'm not somebody who's going to be an extremist. I want somebody who has a balanced mind. And I think that is one very big thing. I don't think any other profession in the world will teach you, any other preparation will teach you. The JEE and other examinations is a very mainstream one. I mean, in terms of like, okay, you're good at mathematics, this is what you have to do. You want this, mathematics, physics, suppose say biology, or whatever subjects are there, that's it. Here the scope is unlimited. Tomorrow you can choose to be public policy maker, you can choose to be a social entrepreneurship, you can choose to be a mainstream tech entrepreneurship. This learning is not going to go anywhere. Tomorrow you can choose to be an engineer also, you can choose to be an ISRO scientist, but you still require the same intelligence where you're curious, where you want to learn, where you are required to apply all of that knowledge that you've learned all this while. So at the end of the day, it really breaks down to these core ideas and core ideologies. And I think I'd like to quote James Grant, who is this very famous YouTube teacher, but is also a famous professor at the University of Pennsylvania. He says something interesting. I think we assume that students are not as smart as we think they are, but actually they're a lot smarter than us. So student asks, please elaborate. So James Grant says, why do you think a student need to be taught? He doesn't need to be taught. You should give him the platform where he learns himself, and more than that, he should have that. You should create an atmosphere where you give him all the resources where he wants to jump and say, now I'm learning and now I know the answer. So I think that attitude is something that we believe in very strongly, and that is, I think, the crux of the Young India program. So I hope you've understood what we're trying to say here, and I hope you have a nice day. Thank you so much.